because I was that cheap kid that had to turn the tires around and, wrench on all my own stuff and weld frames back together with rebar back before they were aluminum frames. I pissed on the KTM 690 crowd and expected backlash. Well, fucking AI is the best at everything, dude. If Climb dumps me, because I'm getting old and maybe I'm not as fast as I used to be. Hey, everybody, it's Tech Talk Taco Tuesday, episode number 277. I'm pretty sure. Things are not working as expected. I just somehow something dropped on the one thing that I was supposed to be paying attention to, and of course, then you got the ghost image in the camera that just popped up from last week's show. And then, as you see, we have no guest. So my guest is a bottle of Clase Azul Ultra Anejo. Good guest, right over here. Doesn't talk much, kind of like the best kind of hosts that you like to have. And I'm not really sure, but there is nothing going on. Oh, I see the problems. There was no connection made. That's a first. Welcome to Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. Episode 277. I'll do this again. At least the microphone was working. I just never connected the show to the internets. I didn't plug that plug in. So it was a really good intro and you missed it. Unless you saw it on the Instagrams or whatever. And I'm going to hang up on the Instagrams right now because I got to focus on what I'm doing. Yeah, that's an XR80 motor behind my head. It's an XR80 motor up there. So, okay, everybody. We'll see you over on the other side. The side we have to pay a little bit more attention to. So I'm ending that. Live stream ended. Oh, boy. That was rough. Yeah, I think that we're streaming, although I didn't get the message like I normally did. Maybe our internets are down. Let's see. That's working. The show seems to be working. I could just go like this and start it all over again. I could go. Come right back to here. Hey, welcome everybody. It's Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. Might be going into an endless loop because my restream and stuff is acting funny, and I'm hoping to reload it here and then it comes back up. So if the sound's good, if the video quality is okay, let me know. Just trying to keep things rolling here. Tonight on the show, I'll get in that a little bit later. It's a Tech Talk Taco Tuesday and tequila. So we're going to do some El Padrino in this particular episode. Notice I slur before I even get into it, so you can't blame that on me. Okay, so ask questions in the chat. This is the show where we talk about motorcycle and motorcycle-related products. My name is Jimmy Lewis. I'm a washed-up ex-motorcycle racer, former journalist, magazine editor, did a lot of things. And luckily, I'm still able to ride motorcycles for a living somehow. It's not directly riding motorcycles, but everything I do involves riding motorcycles, and I imagine I'm making a living. So we'll see how this goes. I'm not seeing anything coming up across my chat, and I can't see things here. I'm going to check and see if it works here. Checking the connection. Okay, it's working. It's working. 9 million people watching this thing. It's probably because you wanted me to start at 7 o'clock like I'm supposed to. But it's my show, and I can start it anytime I want. I could start at 6 o'clock, but I just decided that I was going to start it a little bit early to kind of screw with everybody. No, I wasn't doing that. I was getting bored. I wanted to do something. Like I was telling the people on the grams a minute ago, there is a show before the show. So if you think I just got started, I actually warm up by firing up the Instagrams and giving them a little insight into what goes on before I get started. So in the show before the show, I was explaining that I didn't go riding today, but I had a really good streak. I've been riding most of the days, and I didn't get to go riding today because kind of stuff got in the way of it. And it's kind of been hot, a little bit hot here. And then I had to go to hair and makeup. And that takes a long time with me, it's so I couldn't interrupt that. I would cut into my riding, and then if I went riding, I wouldn't get back in time, and then it would mess up my hair. And then I would fry my brain, and then I wouldn't know how to answer your motorcycle and motorcycle product related questions. So I'm sure it'll get going big time around 7 o'clock when everybody remembers to join in, because everybody has their timer set. That's when the millions of people just join right in. So we have Roosterendo tonight. So we have stuff for Roosterendo. So get excited for that. We have a few questions that were submitted on the internets. I helped some people and they thanked me. That was good. So the way the show works is you ask questions, we answer them. I will get you a good answer somehow. If I can't answer it 9 out of 10 without referring to the reference manual, I will find somebody who knows the answer and get you a good, proper answer. Not really the kind of person that's trying to sell you stuff. Generally, my first response is how to do it for free or cheap. And then I'll tell you all the different things. And a lot of times that's not what people want to hear, especially a lot of these people that are really into marketing and promoting their brand with just sell everything all the time. I do it a little bit different because I was that cheap kid that had to turn the tires around and wrench on all my own stuff and weld frames back together with rebar back before there were aluminum frames. So I have a little experience. But anyways, if you have questions, you can submit them in the chat. And there's another. So there was a long line of co-hosts that were planning on coming in tonight to help out with the show. Long line. And they just couldn't get me excuses quick enough on why they weren't making it in. I just got one right here. Just, 10 minutes before the show, just says, nope, claiming he's working. Well, I'm working too. So, yes. So you ask your questions in the chat, and whether you do it in the show or on one of the videos that we put out, or if you comment on one of the YouTube videos, if you just have a question, you can email it to me, Jimmy@dirtbiketest.com. It seems like lately I'm getting more people asking for discount codes and stuff like that, which I do have, but I tend to hand those out to people that have a kind of a specific need and or they understand. They've been watching the show. They'll say something. What was the one? There's one guy, I got him a really good discount today, just out of nowhere, and he made a joke about all the millions of people that are following this show, and I thought it was a good joke, and it definitely showed that he was a consistent viewer, so that really helps. Okay, Victor. Well, I have a question from Victor that came in through some form of weird social communication that I don't do. Hey, White-Ixican. I'm white Mexican. Break-in period and steps for a fresh top end on a two-stroke bike. It's a great question, Victor. So this is not what your manual tells you. It's not what high-performance engine tuners do, and it's not what people that don't know what they're doing do. It's what you should do if you're just a regular dude like me. And this goes for if it was a race bike, or if it's just my bike, I want it to last another 150 hours on the two-stroke top end, 300 cc two-stroke top end. 125s, I go about 50 hours. 40 on my YZ125, and then I start getting curious. Anyways, when I reassemble them pretty dry. So a lot of people like really lube stuff up, and by pretty dry, I mean that I don't put very much, if any, oil on the cylinder wall and or the piston and ring grooves. I kind of put those together clean and dry. Not to say that it's absolutely perfect. Like sometimes I might just put a small smidgen, like a finger wipe of two-stroke oil down around the bottom of the cylinder where the rings are going to go up in there. But anyways, very little there. But I do put some. I make sure I always put a drip or two inside of the small end bearing, and so on the wrist pin, and make sure the wrist pin's all pretty much lubed in up. And a lot of time that the residual lube from doing that is enough for me to be happy with the cylinder, because remember, there's oil in the gas, just the way it is with your two-stroke, you hope. And then I make sure I put some into the big end bearing. So again, a couple drops will go onto the, usually if you roll your rod over, you can drop a couple of drops into the big end bearing, and that'll go in there. And then there's usually the holes that are on the transfer ports and stuff. There's holes that go down to the main bearings, and they actually kind of go behind the main bearings. I don't see anything wrong with dropping a couple drops. And like I say, just a couple drops of oil down there, and then I put her together, and usually it fires up first or second kick, and it's usually, the choke's usually on, or if it's fuel injected bike, it has a choke circuit, it's going to run it a little bit rich, and that's just enough to where, especially because two-strokes, especially if they've been sitting for a while, they always kind of load up just a little bit, so that means there's a lot of fuel going around. Everything's getting wet, everything's getting oil on it. So I let it run like that. I usually, choke back off. I kind of warm it up and just let it run for a few minutes, just enough to kind of get temperature, and then I shut it off. So that's like the initial break-in. Then the next time I will just run it through a normal heat cycle. Sometimes I'll start it up and run it again for a few minutes, just the heat cycle. Then I'll go ride it, and I'll kind of in the beginning for maybe, 5 minutes, be easy on it, and then it's ride it like normal. By 5 minutes, that thing's done enough RPM where if something is wrong, and if it's a brand new bike, I might take a little bit more care because there's a lot of other stuff breaking in other than just the top end. But if it's just the top end, there's probably nothing extra sticking out or anything that needs to be worn back down. You're mostly kind of checking your work to make sure you put it back together right, to make sure that things that needed to be torqued, maybe there's O-rings or gaskets that might seal coolant or whatever, base gaskets that seal pressure inside the case, these things like that, power valves, making sure the power valve, you just kind of making sure that it runs back like it did. And if it does, have at it. It's good to go. That's my break-in period and steps. I don't run any extra oil or anything weird like that. I don't run different gas. It's just the way it was running when it came apart. That's the way it's going to go back together. And it just has a fresh piston. I usually write down someplace on the bike when I did it, like the date and the hours, or the date for bikes that don't have hour meters will kind of remind me. And then an hour meter is a great addition to any bike where you can do that. So that's what I do. Marco Henriksen. I know that guy. Always fun listening to you talk about motorcycles. Watching you ride them is even better. Watching you is learning. Well, thanks, Marco. That's swell of you to say that. I do really appreciate that. Marco, it's the same thing watching Marco on a snowboard, by the way. I don't know where Marco is. He was supposed to be my South American correspondent. He was down in like Nicaragua or something like that, riding the Honda knockoff bikes, and he got us a report like a couple years ago about how you put the rubber pieces over the shifter so that you don't burn your toes on the shifter because it's kind of hot. So that's my buddy Marco, but he's a snowbird now. He runs away from the snow up in Mammoth. And so I haven't snowboarded or skied this year, Marco, just so you know, maybe we're on the same page. Maybe we should hit some spring when you come back if there's anything left. Yep, it's right there in the comments. He's in Central America. Cheers. You can't get tequila down there, but I'm sure they got some other kind of hooch in those countries. Okay. So it is getting closer to 7 when everybody's going to join the show, because that's when we usually start. But got a little head start tonight. I don't really, like I said, I don't really want to, I might go riding tonight. There is a chance because it's hot. And so I've been riding the day in fully vented gear, and I bet you I could go out tonight with a windbreaker and it would be epic. So the other thing about like at night sometimes, especially if I go up on the hills, on the mountains here, like the moisture comes back out of the ground and you get like a little bit of bonus traction when that ground starts radiating heat. It takes a little moisture up with it or something, but I notice better traction. So other things, what else is going on in Dirt Bike Test? I don't know. Haven't been paying that much attention, but I did notice when I went on our Instagram account that Trevor's not posting much stuff there anymore. So maybe Trevor's quit. I don't know. Or maybe he's just putting everything on his own channel because it's more profitable to him. Don't know. Maybe I didn't pay him enough last year. I don't know. But maybe Trevor call into the show and let us know what's going on, but I don't know either. Okay, Victor, you had another question that you sent in. I have no idea when it was because I don't check the social medias that much, as was just indicated. And, dude, you should have a news section on the Tech Talk Taco Tuesday, moto news, and some weird shit news. Well, guess what? I kind of agree with you. I think that you're right. I should, but that would require extra work, and I'm not ready for that. But in this new segment that I call Ask AI what the hell you should do, let me say. So I talked to AI earlier today. I gave it a little talking to because I don't. It's an inanimate object, and so I don't let it outthink me. But it did. So I told it. I said, "Hey, what could I do to get a little more question engagement on my show?" And it said, TikTok. It says it told me all about TikTok. TikTok Taco Tuesday on TikToks. And I had to yell back at it, and I said, it's not TikTok Taco Tuesday, it's Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. And I do remember that almost every time I say Tech Talk Taco Tuesday on a text-to-speech thing, it always comes back TikTok, and I just get lazy and I let it go. But there we go. So anyways, it told me some things after I corrected it. It says that this show, it's the YouTube Facebook, where you crush tacos while answering rider questions about bikes, products, tuning, suspension, and all the fun dirt bike chaos. That changes the vibe perfectly. It's a tight-knit moto community, not general TikTok stuff. So it's apologizing for calling it TikTok. And then it went on to tell me how X is the best place to get this thing. And I should do something like this. I should post, it sounds like work, on Monday or Tuesday morning. I should say Tech Talk Taco Tuesday tonight at 7 p.m. Drop your dirt bike tech questions, product reviews, tuning tips, even dumb jokes right here in the replies, or quote this post. We'll put the best ones for the live show on YouTube. And then it's smart. It goes, sponsored by Yamaha, Takamoto, etc. Link in the bio or search Dirt Bike Test. Sounds like me. Okay, we got Scarlet Fire with a question here, or a sad fact, unfortunately. In Massachusetts, you need to buy an off-road sticker for your bike, even to ride on your own property. The state says that they want to find stolen bikes and also collect the sales tax. So, Scarlet Fire, interesting. So I was doing some research actually today on Nevada statute and stuff, because in Nevada it's the same way. If you buy a vehicle, something that has a VIN number, and you are required to register it because they want to keep track of it. In our state, we have an OHV sticker also. The good thing is that the money collected, $20 a year, goes to an OHV fund, and that OHV fund currently is distributed out by a commission that reviews applications, and they grant the money. That's how we're getting our money for our kids' mini bike track here. They do stuff with OHV, kind of, I don't want to say enforcement. They kind of stay away from doing a lot of stuff with enforcement, but like with some safety vehicles and stuff, they fund some OHV groups that work on land use issues and education and awareness. So it's actually pretty good. So, and then I think they want to keep track of this stuff. is what they're doing on the enforcement side. They want to know what it is. So if they find the bike, if you just have the bike and it's not registered, then they might not have a record of it. And if there's a sticker like a license plate, it's easier to tie all that stuff together. So I kind of get it. I don't like having to pay for something that's not any good. But if your state set up their off-road program properly, like Nevada did, it's going to go back and help the community out. So I don't know if that's a sad thing or a good thing. I mean, there is so much bike theft, especially back east. I hear about this all the time. Those inner city folks that like to mono the bike up and down the street, those bikes are generally not paid for, and they tend to get them in nefarious ways. So, I'm sure the first thing they do is peel the sticker off, so that might not help. But if you're a good law-abiding person, you probably have the sticker on there, and then it's easy to identify that, hey, this guy's probably okay, even if you are riding on your own property or maybe just on private property in general, or you're in an off-road area doing your stuff. So, yeah, Scarlet Fire, that's what's going on. Dave Donnelly says, what foam tubes are you using and tires for the land of dirt here? Well, it's Pahrump. It's Valley of the Dirt People. I am currently running Nitro Moose, the harder ones, not the plushies. I'm running the Nitro Moose ones. I'm actually testing out some newer stuff that he has that's actually pretty cool. But generally, I just run the standard Nitro Moose. I run I run the size that's recommended, or maybe a size bigger to start with to get more life out of them. Because in the beginning, I'll use it in like a bike that's doing more high speed desert stuff where I'll hop on the road and I'll go 70 miles an hour and I don't care with my mooses. I do not have problems because I also go riding down in Mexico and I go down there with a brand new moose and I'll run the entire peninsula on a single moose. And when we ride roads, you're going fast. So the tires I'm currently using, I'm using Pirelli Scorpion XC mid hards. So I'm really liking those. I've actually last week I was riding with mid softs. And I like the front mid-soft. I'm not too stoked on the durability. We have a little problem with the side knobs coming off. In fact, kind of in you can knock them off in a single ride, which isn't good. So that's my current tire combination of choice, and I'm happy with it. Actually, I've been riding a lot of different stuff because I'm riding some of my older bikes, have some of my older tires on, which they're actually not bad. And a couple of newer bikes came through the thing that have different tires as well. So I've been getting out on a lot of different stuff. So that's the questions from the chat. So you answer a question in the chat, you get it going. Marco Hendrickson says, I did want to say how much I love my 2025 XCW 450. By the way, the show brought to you by Yamaha, so I shouldn't say anything good about any other brand, but I will. It's super nice to buy a bike and not have to do anything to this bike. It is bone stock, and I did replace the spring in the back for my weight. Otherwise, I've been riding it absolutely bone stock. He said writing it, but I'll give him a break. And I can't imagine having a nicer bike. Oh, I can. Yamaha WR450. He's going to tell me more about it when he gets back to Mammoth next month. So far, I am glad to have a bike that I don't have to touch right out of the box. Okay, that's good. I tend to agree with him. Most of the bikes these days are pretty good. If you go watch a lot of our tests, people are, man, you guys, all you do is say good stuff about bikes. It's because all the bikes are good. It's really that simple. I have another thing. Zach says, hey, Jimmy, just following up. I did a bunch of searching like you suggested, and I can't find anything on the 2020 being able to go on a previous year like the 2018. So he's talking about a Yamaha WR250. Since that's a year it went to Bluetooth, I'm going to assume it's incompatible and just keep searching for one in the 215 to 219 range. But thanks for looking for me. So he had an older WR. And I got confused kind of based because the WR seems like it's a year behind, maybe 2 excuse me, 2 years behind the YZ. And sometimes the FX goes with the YZ, sometimes it's a year behind. I can't keep track. But they did a change. They went from the plug-in ECU to the Wi-Fi ECU control. And, I never tried. I doubt it would work. I never tried because it seems like that plug is still up on front if the old tuner would actually plug in. But anyways, he has an old one and he's looking for a competition ECU, and they're sold out and hard to get there. And he asked for a specific discount code, and Zach, you know what? I'm getting it to you. So yeah, you'll be stoked. Anyways, let's see. Had another question that came up in the YouTube comments. We did a video on how to grease the bearings on the needle bearings on a KTM swing arm, which are actually, it's pretty easy to do, especially when they are currently lubed. But if they seize up, which evidently Philip Curtos did, it becomes a difficult task. But there's there's one sleeve inside of the bearing, and there's two sets of needles. And if you do it right, you only slide the sleeve about 40% of the way out, and it holds the needles. And then you can put grease in there, and then you can slide it back in the other way, and you can put enough grease in there so the needles don't come out. And there's a nice little spot in the middle that can hold a fair amount of grease. And if you're careful, you can slide when they're well greased, you can slide the sleeve all the way out or most of the way out. And then with a screwdriver, you can take globs of grease and put it in the middle. It's very rare that from the factory that these bikes are completely lubed up. And I don't know what year, I don't know if they're still doing this because I haven't done a new bike for a while, but on pretty much all my KTMs, it's this double needle bearing on the swing arm pivots. So anyways, we explained this in the video. It says, mine is stuck and I haven't serviced it in a long time. How do you get the buckets off? It's probably stuck on the sleeve with dirt and bone dry. Yes. So the buckets are kind of like the caps that go on the end. And the reason they're stuck is that they're probably dried out. And when that rubber especially really dries out, it can kind of get sticky because it's a good seal. The reason those bikes have, the KTMs, the Austrian brands probably have some of the best bearing seals in the business. I have no problem saying that because it's been my experience. And whether they grease them good at the factory or they don't do a great job, it seems like they last a lot longer than almost any other brands. So if it's stuck on there, what I would do is generally you can kind of take a small screwdriver and go between the sleeve and the outer surface of the cap or bucket, as you call it, and try to wiggle it there. And sometimes if that doesn't work, you can actually use a small punch and you can punch the sleeve kind of right, in that same area between the bucket and the sleeve, but punch it out so it pushes the other side off. And once you get one side off, you can just tap the other one and it should pop it out. And if you are, if it's really bad, I mean, you're going to have to replace it, but you'd be surprised at how, even if what a lot of grease will do inside of a thing like that. A lot of times if I have ones that are like, sometimes they'll rust like down on the bottom where water got in there and the bike sat for a while and things, but the top still has some grease and stuff in it. You'd be amazed at what like some PB Blaster would do. You just kind of saturate that sucker up. So same method, slide it out if you can a little ways, just saturate that thing up with the PB Blaster and then try to spin it and break the corrosion loose. You can grab something to you don't want to gall the outside or actually either side of that sleeve, but if you can kind of get that thing to spin, and as it gets looser, you keep spinning it with some good, PB Blaster kind of stuff. You spin that a lot, and then it'll actually get pretty good. Contact cleaner it out. Use a good cleaner to get it out. Maybe you can even use sometimes just like just a regular kind of lubricant to clean it out instead of completely drying out, and then go ahead and grease it up. And And then the thing is with that, sometimes that lubricant in there kind of carries the grease around and it thins it out a little bit. So maybe if it does get some, if it does get to a place where it's kind of better, I would repack it with really good grease. Really clean it out as much as you can, because the grease and the lubricant will act as like a cleaner. And then but I don't know. That's the way that you can. Like I said, I'm always here to tell you how to do it inexpensively. You can always just replace. And a lot of times when they're bad, you're going to be punching those suckers out and it's going to be a big mess. So that some of that penetrant oil is your stuff. Oh, we got somebody who wants to talk politics in the chat. Great. No. If I really wanted to have a hit podcast, I would talk politics and dating advice. That's what I would do, but I don't really want to. I mean, 29 million people in the chat right now. What the hell? Go for it. Let's see. Joe Bummy says, I'm thinking about getting my 500 EXC a new stablemate. For some reason, the TW200 seems like a fun bike to thrash around on. What are your thoughts? Well, it's a Yamaha, so that's probably the best decision you could possibly make. But in reality, ride one before you decide on something with fat tires. Because I will tell you this, that I've ridden those things a few times, and the wide tire, it just handles weird. It grabs stuff. I almost crash in those things a lot because I don't expect my tires to be that wide, and they touch things, and it really grabs the front end and it ricochets and it does a lot of stuff that I don't like. It really depends on what you're trying to do. If you want something that kind of like really float on sand, although I don't find them very fun on sand for some reason, they don't grab traction. They kind of slide a lot. They float, they don't sink, but neither does my whatever I'm riding. When I'm riding my WR450 in the sand, it doesn't sink either. So, I would see if you can get a ride on something with a fat tire, which is basically that bike, the TW200. Honda had that old thing called the Fat Cat, and Yamaha did kind of skinny up the TW200 a while back. So it's not the big balloon tires that it used to be. It's a little different. So I wonder if our remove something is a bot, is my question. So don't get triggered too much. We'll take the comments, because the comments really do help the algorithms. And so if it's bots talking to bots, like my AI thing that I talked to earlier today, we can see how that we can do that. Hey, we got somebody who thinks that they know something, and you may be right. You may be right. It's funny because the algorithm, the bots have gotten pretty smart. And since I use my name and a couple other things, as I've seen this, since I use my name, it'll Google you, it'll research you, and then they'll throw questions in there, just like when you ask an AI. That's interesting. So Mark Daniels, cheers, buddy. All right, cheers to you. I don't know what you got going. I'll show you what I got going right now. A little El Padrino tonight for everybody. How's this one? Throw it on the emergency camera. A little El Padrino Anejo. I don't remember. I don't know if this is a Mexican one. Let me check. No, I got this in the States. Yeah, I couldn't remember. It's okay. It doesn't pair well with my fruity water that has extra stuff in it to make me concentrate. Yeah. I had a little thing you squirt it in there, and it gives you extra concentration. So thanks, Joe. Glad I could answer your question. Scarlet Fire says, this is my favorite. Aerocrol is a high-performance penetrating oil used to loosen rusted, frozen metal parts, trusted by professionals to creep into minute spaces. It cleans, lubricates, and prevents rust. That almost sounded like an ad read. And if you were a bot that was trying to get me to read Aerocrol, K-R, oil, Aerocrol. I didn't pronounce their name right, so you should have phonetically put it out there so I could do it right. I can hardly even pronounce most of the names. So, Ace, good to see you. Cheers. That should just bring me into the next segment because you guys are a little slow on the comments tonight. I'm sure it's because nobody's tuned up yet. Oh, and somebody wants to ask me a snow bike question. I want to ask somebody, if I put pistons in my snowmobile, can I still use it? Yeah. Aerocoil is used by the airline industry. Well, I mean, yeah, it's every industry kind of has their own stuff. And the PB Blaster group actually got into power sports and motorsports pretty heavy in the last couple of years. Maybe I should reach out to them for sponsorship. Think about that. I should get an AI agent to reach out for sponsorship. Well, tell Ronnie McCoy that he should ask me a bike question right here and now, because this is where I give my 2 hours of penance. It also, my bot tells me I should also have a teaser with a taco pic. What moto question is burning a hole in your brain? We should do a quick clip or a screenshot from last week's show answering the popular question. Doors open in 1 hour. Questions rolling in already. Add yours, right? The thread, top of the questions we answered tonight, the ones we didn't get to, we save for next week. Oh, I should say that. Well, we get to all the questions generally unless I do that. Use native X videos or images. Tacos plus bikes parks together are gold for engagements. The hashtags. Oh, yeah, I could do that. Yep. Yep. That's, let's see. Boost submissions with moto-specific tactics. Polls. Oh, I should. Best upgrade for a tried two-stroke. A pipe, a carb, an ignition, or all of it. And then tell us why in the replies tonight and submit question for tonight. Does it sound like half of the crap you're getting, stuffed in your emails or the stuff you're seeing on posts because people are using these guys, bots, basically to do their thing? Hey, and the best question gets a shout out, and we'll demo it next week. We already give out Taco Moto gift cards, so let's see. It says we could do some live interaction on the social platforms, and we could have a co-host, or you just post quick updates, like just answered this question. And then, how the hell am I going to do that? I can barely think of what I'm going to be saying next. And, U9V says, don't you have to be fast to get sponsored? I don't know. If you were fast, you would know the answer to that question, because I do. I'm brought to you by Climb. Climb makes awesome off-road riding gear, and it's so awesome to be. I was thinking about this today. If Climb dumps me, because I'm getting old and maybe I'm not as fast as I used to be, I was thinking because there's a lot of good, there's pretty good gear out there, but Climb is some of the best, if not the best gear out there. It's super durable, and that's really important to me. It's not cheap. That is a hurdle in the beginning, but if you know what you like, if you're buying whatever your favorite sport is and stuff, you want to get the good stuff. That's Climb, and I'm super stoked on their gear. You would think I would go through a lot more of it than I actually do, but it doesn't wear out. And some of my biggest problems is that I wear old stuff, and they're like, "Hey, Jimmy, that colorway is outdated. Don't wear that anymore." I'm like, "Oh, okay, it fit." So and I've got some new XC light coming. I got the new jersey, and I'm waiting on the pants to show up, and that's going to be the stuff for the summer, I'm pretty sure. And I like the pockets. You can also follow our Instagram videos that are called "I've Got You in My Pocket," and it's an audio experience on a visual platform. So that's what's going on. Let's dive into Rooster Endo. Let's do it. I wish I had a theme song for Rooster Endo, but I'd probably hold on a second here. Let's see. I can ask this thing anything. Can you make me a theme song for the Rooster Endo segment on Tech Talk Taco Tuesday, where I won't get any copyright violations like I do every single show? Okay, see what happens. Hold on. Here's 100%. He wrote it from scratch. Let's see. Oh, Rooster Endo Taco Time. Wait, he wrote it, but where's the music? Wait, how do I use it in a safety zero? Is it copyright free zone? Hold on. Where's can you play this through the speaker so I can hear it? Here we go. I wish I could blast that straight through your speakers right now like a surprise rooster crow at full volume while you're wrenching on a bike. But I'm a text-based AI, so I can't play radio directly on this chat. Well, see, you're useless. No worries, though. Here is the easiest, fastest, free way to hear your own Rooster Endo theme song in under 2 minutes with zero copyright risk. See, I can be dumb like I am, and I could probably make a pretty good show if I just ask the AI bots that are going to come and kill me once they do that general intelligence thing and figure me out. Okay, we're going to get to Rooster Endo, but questions came in. Here we go. Scarlet Fire says, if you had a sweet chick co-host in a bikini, you'll get more clicks. You're right. Well, I'll go get the damn blow-up doll right now, okay? And then I'll just why didn't I think of that? You're almost as good as AI. Travis Plaint says, hi, Jimmy. Hey, Jimmy. I'm 47, old school. Steve McQueen, old school. At 47? Okay. I go to races now, feel out of place. Too many motorhomes, $10,000 bikes, and $2,000 suspension mods. Still a place for old school. Yeah. I mean, I ran into my buddy when I was at the National Hare and Hound a couple weeks ago, Scott Stearns, who's a guy I raced against. He's a little bit older than me. He's in the 60s now. I raced against him back when I moved up to 250s. He was in the checkers. He was a partier, and he played and partied hard. That guy wrote. He was on his Yamaha YZ450. He's in his little minivan that he's got his hitch hauler on there. He was cooking his own food out there. He was old school and loving it and killing it. He's winning. He's winning the series in the 60 class, and having a great time out there with his dog. And I don't think he lets anything else affect him. He's focused on what he's doing, and it was really good to see. It was refreshing, because I think went through a little tough patch there for a while, but he found dirt bikes again and came back and doing it hard. So I don't, there's a big trend of guys that are trying to kind of go a little bit more retro with stuff and do things a little bit different. And I don't let what anybody else is doing affect how I feel. I just, I don't know that you would feel out of place for so much. Maybe you're driving a nice, 57 pickup or, some 1970s GMC truck with a 3 on the tree. And, so, yeah. Are free stickers considered a sponsorship? I think for slow guys they are. I think that's it. Let's see. And Dave Donnelly wants to know, is the Husky Monument off limits due to the BLM trail closure? I don't know the specifics of it. They claim that it is, but I don't know if that's on a county road or not. Actually, you know what? It's not on a county road. It's off of a county road. It's actually on a trail. And I think that they can't close down the county roads. And I'm not 100% sure if all the trails are closed or closed only to non-street legal vehicles. I haven't read the exact specifics of it yet, but let's see. Lance Kane says he's got a tequila in hand. Good for you, if that's what you like. Don't want to push my tequila views on anybody. Okay, Roosterendo. Okay, wait. Let me. You want me to sing the song? Let's see. I could go to an app and I can make music in 2 minutes, it tells me, but I don't really want to have that much dead air time. Let's see. If you want a more country redneck moto. Oh, wait. Can you say redneck on AI? Let's see. Let's see. Intro chat started with reverb to crowd noise. Rooster Endo Taco Time. Roostin' crowing on the throttle wide, wheelie high or endo slide. Send that pic. Let the boys decide. Takamoto cash for the wildest ride. That's not bad. Although I'm a little worried about the endo slide. I'm kind of curious. Let's see. I'll have to work on this a little bit. Let's see. Let's see. Sent you more pics to your email. Oh, I got the pic. I got the pic to the proper email. Lance Kane, I'm going to do this question right now before I get to the Roosterendo. I keep getting distracted, but that's just the way this show goes. It's loose, irreverent, and kind of funky. Tell me your thoughts on the XR650R making a comeback as an ADV. Lots of hype for the old beast. Love them myself. Oh yeah, I was the first non-Honda person to ride a XR650 right here. Just exactly, that's me. Very first time riding an XR650. Super top secret. But it's not going to make a comeback. It was never designed to be a dual sport bike. You know, Honda has these crazy durability standards, and it did not meet them the way they needed it to meet them. So it's not going to make a comeback. They would have to have a certain amount of different ignition power. It was a carbureted bike. That's not good anymore. It had some really weird, unique things. I kind of know a lot of the backstory and what happened when it was developed and what all that weird stuff. So, but it would make a really good adventure bike as kind of like a base platform. It'd be really good, except the subframe's not strong enough and the gearbox isn't really set up for that in Honda's eyes. Doesn't have the electric start. Like I said, it's not fuel injected. It doesn't have a plastic fuel tank, blah, 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 blah. It actually runs kind of hot, when in slow speed stuff. It was meant to do what it was designed to do, which is Baja. And Baja and high-speed desert riding, and it was really good at that. So let's see. My wife says do it in the dirt. Is that a kinky move or a position? That's a good question. I would ask AI, but I'm trying to get to Roosterendo. Okay, here we go. Everybody, this segment we call Roosterendo. Okay, here is bike number 1. This bike is the guy, his name rhymes with, it's like Timmy Jewish. It's a 2004, 5, 6, no, 2010, I believe, maybe 11. Yamaha WR250, and it's not for sale, but you could probably buy it from that guy. He sells stuff. It was never used as a rental bike in the school that I used to run that much, and this is a really good bike because Yamaha was really confused at one time, and they couldn't figure out about steel frames or aluminum frames, and they kind of had a aluminum frame that they wanted to use, and they it was on the bikes, and they put a carburetor in there, so it's impossible to get out. And then it kind of handled mediocre in general. When they're two strokes at the time that also had aluminum frames were handling insane, and these ones were struggling a little bit. This was like kind of a contraption of frames that they came up with, and so you can buy this for a reasonable price. Just hit me up, Jimmy@dirtbiketest.com. It needs a new battery, but I probably find one of those for you someplace, or I'll just jump start it. It has a Kickstarter. It's a good bike. This bike totally roosts. It's got wraparound handguards, decent tires on it. Other than that, it's pretty stock. Just a good running, good trail bike. So if you need this bike, just hit me up. So that's I don't know. Let us know in the chat what you think about these bikes in Rooster Endo. So, like I always show you, this is the group of guys that's going to roll me if their buddy didn't win the Rooster Endo. This is bike number 2. It's brought to you by Ace, and it says nomination for Rooster Endo, 2006 KTM 525 with less than 50 hours. Okay. So he met all the requirements. Ace did what he was told. He submitted a picture, and he put year, make, and model. That was better than that last guy. So KTM 525 is kind of it's kind of like one of those cherished beasts, kind of like XR 650. It has a following. In fact, like this was the bike that really started destroying what the XR 650 was, in my opinion. So, you think the WR Roos? Okay, well maybe we can talk about this. Ace, I think he's buttering me up. Is what I think. So this sweet example, under 50 hours is pretty good. In the 2006, I want to say that the 2007s were like the pinnacle. They'd kind of figured everything out. The only issue with the 525s was it was just a little bit too much power for that particular set of cases and transmission and valve train and everything like that. Not to say that they weren't durable. It's just when you have 400s, you had KTM 400 XCs, the EXCs and XCs that would go 500 hours and you never have to touch them. And then these would only go like 250. And really good bike. Like that you stood on top of it with your phone when you took the picture and sent it to me. It's hard to see. You're looking down on your motorcycle. That's not a good photography position, by the way. Can't really see much. I like that big gas temp. That we'll call it the taint tingler, the nut slapper gas tank. You wouldn't want to get thrown forward on that sucker, I don't think. I can't tell if it has a steering damper on it. Hard to see. It's got some little gold bits like the gas cap, like the clutch slave cylinder. I can try to zoom in and see. I don't remember how big this photo. Oh, that's the wrong photo. I messed that thing up. I'm trying to get the right picture in here to adjust it. Here we go. Let's see if we can look closer at this bike. Can't see there the bad photo angle. ESP suspension. That's some good stuff. It's got all the right stickers in the right places. It's sitting on a Husqvarna stand, so keep it in the family, I guess. What does everybody think of that? A KTM 525 XC, and I think that bike came with the tank that went around the radiator guards, which I actually liked, but some people thought it was too thin, and then a lot of guys were going to this other one. I don't know if that's an Acerbis or an IMS, but it's got a big tower on it there. More pics in your email. Okay. When do you think that those pics showed up? I don't think that's the one I got in the dirt bike test email. So if they showed up like during the show, like how am I supposed to orchestrate all this stuff? I can barely make a post or talk to my AI agent on the thing. Well, if and somebody just texted me and said their sound froze on YouTube, and it's not on my end because I've dropped 0 frames and everything's perfect here. So kind of like me, all perfect. So Ace, I didn't get the email. If you sent me a bunch of pictures on my email, maybe that's what's freezing up the YouTubes, but I don't know. I'm looking at 2 different emails here, and I'm not seeing it. So that's the only picture you get. I'm going to say that bike roosts because it looks really clean. I wonder if it's for sale. You never know. You just never know. Okay, so chat can chime in and let us know if they like that. I think, in order to bear this. Oh, look, another KTM RFS. Who's this one? This is brought to you by it's a 2005 KTM 250 EXC that is bored out to a 350, and who submitted this? Jimbo Lewinsky submitted this one. This bike's never been used as a rental that much, and I'm 99% positive about 30% of the time that if you want a really good KTM RFS bike, kind of like Ace's bike, this is that, but it doesn't have the big tank on it. It's got way more hours on it, I'm sure, but this is the original KTM 350. Good little chariot. It's pretty amazing how well it runs. Has the HT Racing kit inside of it. And I rebuilt the cylinder head, put new valves in the cylinder head. I mean, the Jimbo team put the new cylinder head, just dropped some valves into that thing, and it runs like a champ. And I want to sell it because it has a carburetor, and I hate carburetors. And I have a bunch of other KTM 350s, so I don't need this one. And you can buy it for a fraction of what it's really worth. Just email me, make an offer. It's got good tires on it. I know that. It's ready to race almost. I mean, I could go take it and race it, and then you could just quit on the third loop like I did. So whatever you need to do. This definitely roosts because all KTM RFSs right now, absolutely 100% roost. And yes, Ace did send me more photos of his bike at 7:27 p.m. And it's it's pretty simple. Can't answer the emails that effectively while I'm doing this show. So yeah, that roosts. Cheers. I'm having a little more Padrino to stomach my picks for this Roosterendo segment. Travis also sent me an email. Good job on you, buddy. Yeah. Can a Shane Watts or a Scott Summers or even a Jimmy compete today? Compete at what? No. You can compete in the vet classes, but compared to the speed that the kids are riding and just what they're doing and how I'm still in tune to the new bikes, but a lot of guys, it'd be real interesting to put Scott Summers I know Shane Watts still rides, still does schools, still pretty active. I don't know what Scott is up to. Haven't talked to him lately. I know he's hosting ride events and stuff at his property out in Kentucky. I don't know if he's been riding that much, but it'd be really interesting to put him on a new bike, and just because they've changed. And he was probably one of the biggest dinosaurs to ever roam the earth because he was doing crazy things on that XR 600, and he really struggled to adapt to newer stuff. I mean, he fit that bike and he made that thing work, and it was a thing to watch. I got to see it firsthand a number of times racing with him, and which usually meant he would blast past me going through trees that I didn't think that he could fit through, and if he didn't, he'd break them. So Yeah. So I feel like I'm actually riding faster now today than off-road specifically, not motocross. I've slowed down quite a bit motocross, but off-road, I think I can ride faster than I ever did because the bikes are so much better, but I can't do it for that long. And then because my vision isn't as sharp as it used to be from what I remember, I don't see things as well. And so sometimes when I think my line selection, which I still, try to pride myself on, is picking good lines. Sometimes if I don't and we're talking like inches of wheel, wheel on inch side of trail, to avoid certain things. Since that isn't up to spec, my muscles are not as strong. All this stuff, there's no way. But when you like when it comes down to just like making the bike go fast, kind of on a known, like I can still get a really good start, when I can get my bike to start, and go fast, to a bomb or something like that, something that doesn't take a lot of skill. But when you start to get into some of that really technical stuff where guys are using some of these newer school techniques, just ways they're really getting the bikes to stick to the ground better, getting on the throttle harder because they're more balanced and they're more in tune with how the chassis work and how well the tires stick. That's a whole different game for sure. So that's hopefully answered that question. Okay, on to the next Roosterendo submission. This one is from Gary. I have Gary's bike in here someplace. So Gary's bike here, let's see, turn these other ones off. Gary has, here are a couple pics of my 2023 KTM 690 Enduro. I only used one pic because I have to upload it into the show and I'm not very good at this stuff. It has all the needed bits. Flatland Racing radiator guards, R&G case covers, Rally Raid UK upper and lower subframe tank upgrade bolts. Okay, I thought he was going to say upgrade tank because they do make a crazy upgraded tank. Nomad ADV rear rack, Uni Australia air filter, sprung from my Brewer's build with the KTM X-Trig preload adjuster. That's a good mod, especially for like adventure bikes, or if you're, putting on and taking off weight a lot, whether that's on you or your bike. Those are really good. Several dongles and a lot of other inconspicuous bits that would take a long time to list. Oh, so you're saying that you didn't put any effort into your submission, kind of like I do in this show. It has hit its share of single track and has managed it nicely with the stock earrings. So I think it might qualify as a dirt bike and a roost. Well, Gary, you do not get to decide that. Just saying. Thank you for the tough MC love, Gary Drummond. Okay. Gary, thank you for submitting on the second KTM as a roost. Well, wait. That was the 350, right, Mark? So, I wonder, there's a couple people here that are going in on, they have fake YouTube accounts or something like that they're, you can buy it. That bike's for sale. The second KTM is definitely for sale. This is the third KTM, I think, that we have in here. See, now the second KTM, Mark, is that the second bike, like after the Yamaha, or was the second KTM that you saw? So we have to, so there was, just so you guys keep it straight, because I don't want to be giving it this $100 away to myself again. Like I probably do I just use it. I just make a new fake email account and I send it over to Taco Mike. When I submit my own bikes, I should have submitted one last week. There was no other entries. So, Gary says roost. That's for the second KTM, right, Gary? Not this KTM. You need to be more specific. There's a KTM 525. There's a KTM 350. There is a KTM 690, and there might be another KTM. Oh, see, Mark, yeah, just butter me up. Yeah, the KTM roost for sure. Yeah. It's the KTM 350. I think everybody's in agreement that was the bike. Mm-hmm. Okay, so keep your votes coming in for Roosterendo. If you want to tell us where you're voting from, because I like to make sure I can have as many biases in there as possible. If you want to include other factors that might help me decide on whether I want to approve or disapprove of your vote, you can name, gender, sexual preferences, all kinds of weird stuff. Like, you can put any of that bad stuff that you want in there. I can see if I can just disqualify you, and then we can get the feed banned or something like that, because it'll just make it easier to not have to do this show anymore. You just turned in time to see the girl on the big screen. She's a big girl. And you know what's funny, Gary? You asked me for permission. He said, can I submit a KTM 690? You should go back in episodes. Let's see. I can do this even easier here. Let's see. Got a lot of stuff going on here. There's a lot of texts coming in. I could go back to my AI thing right here. I'm gonna have to re-ask it all these questions because I don't even know how it saves anything. And I could. What episodes of Tech Talk Taco Tuesday does Jimmy Lewis really give the KTM 690 a bad reputation? I know that AI is a big fan of Tech Talk Taco Tuesday because it's browsing. It just browsed 49 of my videos. So it's searching web results now. And Mark wants to know, what is the tail rack on the KTM 690? Let's see. It's RNG case covers, Flatland radiator guard. I don't see that. Maybe Gary can answer in the thing, but definitely a nice bike. I just kind of I like certain bikes like Husabergs that some people hate, and they should, because it drives the price down. And then I love the XR400 for the same reason that I hate the KTM 690. And not to say that it isn't a good bike, because it has one of the best four-stroke single motors out there. It was, as a chassis, it was the best snow bike I've ever ridden as a whole. And it was not because it was kind of heavy and a little portly, it was because the motor was so good and it had the torque to pull that thing around, and the weight actually didn't bother me, although I never got it stuck in a tree well. That might have changed my opinion, but it had the power to not get stuck in that kind of stuff. I rode a Husaberg 570 that felt underpowered in the snow. So those are good thing. Rack is a Nomad ADV, and it's based out of the Netherlands. So thank you for that update, Gary, on your Roosterendo submission. Big tank bag. It's got the Tusk tank bag. By the way, if you want to help support us, if you go to Rocky Mountain ATVMC to buy some of your stuff, if you go to Dirt Bike Test and click through the links, or sometimes I actually am smart enough to put our link down in the description in this video. It'll have a link to Rocky Mountain. If you use that, we get a small cut. It helps us, pay the bills around here, so I can pay for my AI credits that I'm using up. Let's see. Tech Talk Taco Tuesday is the long-running weekly show, usually Tuesdays around 7 p.m. Pacific time. Let's see. It lists some of my old guests, although I asked it something earlier today, and it said I should bring back some of my old producers to help make the show go better. Let's see. It's suspension, tuning, products, and more while eating tacos and keeping it raw and fun. Episodes are numbered. They've gone well past 270 as of early 2026, and most are archived on YouTube. How to find episodes? Search Tech Talk Taco Tuesday on the YouTube channel. There's no way. Notable episodes that mention the KTM 690 is episode number 158, KTM 690s and a Stormtrooper. So just so you know, we have talked about this before. We take caller questions about the bike. Does Jimmy Lewis really give a KTM 690 a bad reputation? Yes. He's been openly critical about the KTM 690 Enduro SMC Adventure variants for years, and he doesn't hide it on the show or in his reviews. He often calls out its compromises, and then it tries to do too much without excelling at anything particularly well. That's exactly what I say. I say AI isn't lying. Here's the breakdown from his own words. Let's see. The chassis is the limiting factor. Short shock, weird rear gas tank placement, and messes with the balance and handling. That's correct. Yep. Too heavy. It feels like a stick in the middle. Yep. Decent on pavement high, but struggles in serious dirt compared to lighter bikes or bigger twins, like his preferred KTM 1090. Well, that's a mistake. Now I have some issues with AI because I ride Yamahas. I ride a Yamaha Tenere. And if you want to be like me, you can ride a Yamaha Tenere also, because it is, in my opinion, and my opinion's kind of, steers everything as far as I might be concerned, the best adventure bike out there. And now they have that new Adventure Rally Raid variant, which I heard is already here. I'm trying to get to ride one, but they're probably already sold out, and I'll have to go buy one. So, okay. Wow, it's AI must be watching my show. Let's see. In episode number 158, I said I pissed on the KTM 690 crowd and expected backlash. There's a what's wrong with the KTM 690 ADV bike, and I flat out said I hate the bike in parts. And he says, I said, amazing. Wish they'd stuck with the Husaberg 570 style setups. Okay. That's good. Good to, love reading about myself. The only thing would be better if it was a video. Sorry if you guys have to watch this. Let's see. Clean looking rack on that 690. Gary says the 690 taillight is the same as the 790, 890, so it has a license plate built in. Just needs a wire put in. Let's see. AI is always watching. Oh, I know. I from the first time I heard about it, I knew what was going to happen. So I figure I have places where I can go where I'm not connected to anything. Like you can try, but it's not going to get me. I can ride faster than it. It just had to do one of those E-bombs or something on my ignition. I don't know. Okay, one more Rooster Endo submission. Gary, I think your bike roosts. I'm trying to get back on because we've lost millions of viewers ever since I started badmouthing the KTM 690. Now all they think we are all about is these little Kawasaki KLX 300s and riding, Yamaha WR 125s and stuff. And we've left the big bike crowd out to the pasture, but we're bringing it back in. We're reining it back in. So I think I have one more. Oh, look at that. Yes. That's a very familiar bike. That I can spot those a mile away, even if they're not that far from me. This is Screwy Louie's 2012 KTM 500 EXC with it has a non-opt California license plate. It is set up to do the Nora Mexican 1000. It could go right now and finish the Nora Mex 1000, save for the rally equipment you need to bolt on. But it has plenty of power to run it. This bike has an Olin shock. I think there's a Cush Drive rear hub on it right now. Has all the protection that you need. Big tank. Comes stock with the big tank. I can even throw in Louis says if he were selling it, he could throw in a stock size tank as well. Seat concept seat, Scott steering stabilizer, Fast Company flex handlebars. It almost sounds like a bike that I would have made. TM Designs Works skid plate, upgraded mud flap in the back. Probably has the only thing that really it's strange it doesn't have is a like a Bulletproof Designs rear disc guard. It's the only thing that's missing on this bike. Has the tidy tail from Takomoto, FMF full exhaust with the Q on the back, so it's quiet but it still hauls ass. Got some wraparound handguards. It's a good chariot. This is definitely a roost, and it's a roost for sale. So if you're interested. It sounds like I'm one of those used car sales guys. So I don't care what you guys. It needs a front disc guard, is what San Felipe Bob says. Yeah, I could. I've got one right here. I know that this one that I have right here. This one here will bolt right onto it. It's a Bulletproof Designs one made out of wood. It's this is the breakable version for anybody that wants to know. So you can't buy these. This was special made just for me because I complain about them because they affect the handling of the motorcycle. But if you need a front disc guard, just go to Bulletproof Designs. They have them in stock. They're selling like hotcakes, or they might be on special. I don't know, because I might have been a bad person and said bad things about them, and the sales just stopped. But yeah, you could own this. I'm pretty sure for the right offer. So that's what we got. Those are our Roosterendo submissions for tonight. You can go to Jimmy@dirtbiketest.com. Just send an email and I can help you out there. But Roosterendo is brought to you by Takomoto. That's takomoto.co. If you need something for your bike, any of those bikes in that Roosterendo segment could benefit from some Takomoto stuff. They have, like I say, tidy tails. They have all kinds of tuning potential stuff for your ECUs, map switches, upgraded almost anything. Lots of knowledge over there if you're looking for that. And they have cool sticker kits as well. So takomoto.co, they give us every episode that we do Roosterendo, they give us a $100 gift certificate to give to you. And most of the time I'm really good about getting that orchestrated, putting those the people at Takomoto, like Alex helps us out there, in touch with whoever wins. But sometimes I forget for a while because when I shut off this show, I forget everything I did, and you have to remember. So the winner has to email me. So I'm gonna email me right now that I'm gonna win myself. I think it's looking like Dave Ritter, Dave from St. Jen, Montana. EXC 500 is a Roost. That's right, Dave. This is a Roost. Actually, a guy from Canada was going to buy it. It was all set up, and he was gonna buy it, and that didn't happen. So it's still here. It was his training bike, and then things happen. So probably got a better deal. I think because our American dollars were too much, and then he might have got pissed off because we were going to buy Canada or something like that a couple months ago, and that was it. Don't forget the Takomoto root beer candy. Now, how can you forget that? And most of your Takomoto little trinkets come with the root beer candy. Oh, fuel pumps. That's the other thing that they make. And this has been a fuel pump week for me. I pulled out 2 older bikes, and one, I'm pretty sure the fuel pump was actually seized. It was kept dry in a tank that was hanging up in the rafter. So pretty heat in the heat for like probably 4 or 5 years. And I threw it onto a bike, and it just didn't work. It didn't blow the fuse, which is weird, but it just didn't turn over. So I got to pop that out, and I'll be going to Takomoto to get the thing. Gary, have you won before, by the way? And this is just curious, because you're not supposed to win twice. Although I don't remember. I think you may. Did your son win before? I get confused in all the different people that I could look at my emails and potentially see, but it's hard to do. And if you're on YouTube, there's going to be a little bit of a delay. I think the Facebook questions come a little bit quicker. Let's see. We got some other questions here. It would be really nice if Yamaha would bring the T7 World Raid 10 Raid to the USA. They are. It is coming to the USA. I'm pretty sure that's I don't know if the World Raid is different than the one that they just introduced, but I think it's coming. Mark says the 690 is a Roost. And then somebody was at some toga parties at Fox's in Parker. Not really sure where that came from. I don't know how that helps this show at all. Given the lack of pictures, poor angle on the one, and lack of a description, the 06525XC Endos, but it is for sale. Oh, it's for sale too. That's why this segment is called Roosterendo or For Sale, brought to you by Taco Moto. No, Sherco got crushed by a Honda. Okay, so you haven't won. Good. Facebook is ahead of YouTube. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, it's funny because originally we thought YouTube was the faster of the platforms, but Facebook seems like it's a little bit more in real time. So, and now San Felipe Bob is talking about toga yoga parties. I don't know. Oh, wait a minute. That was that Blue Man Group thing. I remember that. Yeah, I got pictures someplace. Okay. Well, here it is. It's really between the KTM 525 and the KTM 690 because the other bikes were just my things that I'm pulling out of the garage and I'm trying to sell. So I took a picture and threw it in Roosterendo. Because if you want to get your bike in Roosterendo, it's really easy. Send me a picture, your make and model, and tell us a little bit about the bike. The better the picture, the more chance you have of swaying me to think that it's good. I'm going to look at Ace's other pictures. Be careful with this message. This message appears to be from Ace, but you've never received message from his email addresses. Does it look safe? It's got a lot of photos attached to it. I don't know. Whoa, he's got a purple tool bag with that thing. He's got all the detail photos from his YouTube ad. They're not much better, really. You're not going to win on photos, Ace. I'm telling you that right now. That's not gonna help you out. Okay. Checking in the chat. There was one, so I'm going to let that stew for a little while. Right now, I'm leaning on the 690 because I'm trying to make up, for like kind of like this show is penance. I need to do some penance with the KTM 690 world. Mark, yes, that is a Class A Azul that's kind of blocking the guest camera. In fact, my guest tonight is Class A Azul. This was Johnny Campbell's water from last time he was here. I'll take that over here. But Class A Azul, it's a good co-host. There, doesn't talk much. It just rings my bell, but I can't. It's in a protective case, so I can't really do anything with that. Can the roost picture be an action shot or only parked? No, you can send any kind of photo that you want in, but it sure is easier to it's a lot easier to look at the bike and parts without a rider on it. But you do you. This show is very judgmental, but not that judgmental at all. There was a couple questions that came up on the someplace on the interwebs that I was looking at. There was a couple. Today seemed like I went and looked for some content, and today there was a lot of people posting pictures of their bikes running and making weird noises. So I might go ahead and put this one here. And it was interesting because I think I did something. Let's see. I don't want to watch the video. It's I think it's this screen here. How about this? Nope, not that screen. It's not that screen either. There's too many buttons to push here. I should. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So this. Okay, so this is a guy that's basically he's has that squeaking noise, that shuddering noise, and that's clutch shudder is what he's hearing. And you can see when he's doing this, he's obviously holding the front brake or the front wheels up against something, because when you hear the tension go in the motor, you see the shock uncompress when he does this, and so he's putting a load on the motor, so the clutch inner hub is staying still and the outer hub is spinning, and so his he's getting clutch shudder. Now, this was really common on older KTMs like the RFSs and stuff, especially when they first started up before, oil really got put into the clutch. But he mentioned in his video that he had smoked the clutch previous and that he replaced all of the stuff. Somebody said water pump bearing. No, it's not the water pump bearing because it's very dependent on the engine. Like you can hear as the engine revs up, you can hear the squeak change. Somebody said primary nut backed off. These are all things that happen. People are talking about the bolts coming out of the clutch, which is possible. But he said he smoked the clutch. He put new plates back in. He's not seeing anything in the oil, but I'm guessing that he did not replace the metals. He only replaced the fibers. And that thing, if you smoke the clutch, they got hot and they're glazed. So something in there is glazed, and it's causing that kind of shudder, and everything's a little bit loose inside there, and causes some problems. But and then there's the whole clutch dampers could be going bad and allowing that thing to kind of shudder and shake a little bit too. So I would say it's time to go in there and make sure that everything is all taken care of. This is another guy with another noise here. Here we go. Let's get this play here. I don't know if we're going to hear this or not. Sound on. Here we go. Okay, so he's starting the bike. He gets the start squeal. So he'll do it again. So he gets that little squeal there at the when his bike starts. So this issue, this is normal. Nothing really to worry about. Although it's your starter sprag gear, the one-way sprag gear on that, and he says he starts it a few times when it's cold and then it stops doing it because the oil gets up in there and starts like lubricating what it's doing. It would be worth it to pull off, and I can't tell exactly what this bike is. It sounded like a KTM 500 when it started. So I should actually look really close at the side panel and maybe see if I can see. Let's see if I can make it to the big full screen. Yeah, it's a 500. I can look down and see the side cover when we're looking at it. But anyways, so that squeals kind of happens on some bikes, but typically if you go in there and look, you're going to notice that the spring that's kind of holding the needle bearings on that sprag gear, which on the I'm trying to remember which side it's on because I've done them on the 350. Where the heck is that sucker? Is it on the clutch? I'm drawing a total blank right now. But anyways, it's a one-way bearing inside of there, and it there's a spring that wraps around those eccentric, we'll call them elongated bearings, and that thing starts going bad, and sometimes you can get those kind of noises like that. So yep, and some people say starter motor one-way gear, which is good. That's correct. I should have told him I was going to answer this on the show, but order a puller and a new one-way bearing. Yeah, you know, and if you search the internets enough, so that bearing is it was $70 maybe, and it could be a lot more on how much that bearing costs. But the bearing's actually good, and the spring is all you need. There was a seal that we found. It was like an SEM seal that had the exact same spring around the outside of it. You know, it was a spring tension a seal. It was to hold tension on the seal, and we were able to buy these bearings for about $7. Pop that spring off, and then pop it onto the bearings and fix them. So I'm pretty sure you can search the internet or just ask AI how to do it, because it's going to replace everything that I'm ever doing for sure. So I was actually trying to get AI to do the show for me so I don't have to get up in the morning, and then when I do wake up, I can just go riding. But that's not where we're at just yet. The next thing here, this young man here has he needs some help sealing the half moons on a KTM 350 EXC. He said, all new gaskets and the valve cover and small amount of oil residue, oil and a small amount of oil resistance RTV has suggested everywhere online, but it's still leaking a considerable amount here. If it's leaking a considerable amount, you've done something wrong, especially if you've replaced all new gaskets. So someone did suggest replacing all of the gaskets up there, meaning that the on top of the head where the bolts that bolt the valve cover down, replace those too, because they can put weird pressure on it, and sometimes when those wear out, like the bike gets really hot and they lose their elasticity, it doesn't allow the head to, doesn't put the pressure down on it like it should. I've also seen people leave those out or have them installed incorrectly, and then they get no pressure, and then the oil really gushes out. It's kind of normal for KTM 350s, in my experience, to weep a little bit there. Not leak a lot, but if you want to minimize it, you would put just a little bit of a little bit of RTV. I use YamaBond. Okay, Yamaha, sponsor of this show. They make YamaBond, which it's really good. It's a liquid gasket stuff. I don't know why I like it better than anything else, but I've sealed center cases with it that don't have gaskets for a while. And then if there are oil-prone, leaky locations, like on certain Husabergs, like the entire motor, you use some YamaBond. And not a lot, because you do not want that stuff going around in the motor, because that kind of stuff can plug things up, oil orifices and jets. And now the jets are so specific if it isn't spraying where it needs to be. So you got to be careful. It's not like the old days where you just slap a whole bunch of RTV on top of it and let it go. You want to be careful. So there's probably something bigger if it's leaking a lot, and if not, you're maybe just not assembling it properly. Be really careful with the torque specs. I've seen, when it's just usually a misassembly, the wrong bolts. Maybe the bolts that you're using you got the wrong ones that are bolting the valve cover down. They might be a little too long and not, biting down. But yeah, that's all I can do to help you there. So that's the other question. We got to see what we got going on in the chat right now. Got any new? Let's see. Yeah, Bob, you're going to say seal it with YamaBond. It's oil resistant. That's right. The noise submissions are great. Jimmy probably has heard all and fixed them. I've fixed a few things. I've heard all those sounds before. The podcast looks too dry for me. It says one Ricky Brabeck. I know that guy. Yeah. I heard Ricky's totally into the river. I don't know why we have a picture of my guest. That's not dry over there at the guest thing. Here we are. I heard Ricky was missing the river so much that he found a river in Portugal. Is that a bad joke? Too early? And you probably get back and the temperature is going to go down to 70 degrees. So we're going to go riding dirt bikes, none of this river stuff. So, okay. There was another one that I'm going to scroll through here and find. And Gary Drummond says, why do all manufacturers put oil screens inside the cases? Rhetorical question. It's interesting. For me, it's to tell the healthier motor. It's to stop things that are going bad from getting worse. And like my old XR80 had a little tiny screen in it, before it's a little pump. And so I learned about that. I learned that when I started finding metal in it, then something bigger was going to break later, and it was going to get real expensive, because I wasn't smart enough to know that when I saw a little bit of metal, I should probably go look at it before. And I wouldn't even have known where to look. So that's how you dive into that question. So let me go to the one thing I was looking at. It was another. What's the wait? Here, Same issue. Sound coming from the shock. Hold on. Let me see if I can listen to this. Let's put this up on the screen. Here we go. Here, make this big. Go like this, and then. That's his that noise. What's this noise? This is the segment. It's What's This Noise, brought to you by could have been brought to you by the riding school I used to have. It's brought to you by Bulletproof Designs. Because if you put Bulletproof Designs stuff on your bike, when it goes smash on the ground and it makes that horrible noise, you're probably not going to bend your radiator. So just saying. That noise was his cable rubbing up against his headlight. I'm 99.9% sure of that because I hear that a lot. So that's what that noise is. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see if anybody figured that. Just the spring inside. No, that's not the spring noise. Is it in the side or is it coming from the fork garbage scraper and the mud scrapers? No, it's your brake cable and or odometer cable. So that's what it is. And then somebody's trying to sell him some seals. Let's see here. And he says the springs are going to break. Probably a guy that runs a suspension company. So, yeah. And if your fork springs are scratching like that, they're probably broken. I mean, they will make, you can sometimes hear a little bit of a noise, but yeah, not too much. Oh, Taco Mike posted up a picture of how to, this is really good. So this picture here that shows how to jump your KTM when you forget the key. Or if you're one of the Willy boys and you didn't buy your Massachusetts registration, you want to borrow a KTM for a little while, this is how you don't have to have the key, although the key doesn't really make that much of a difference. So, yeah, it's if you know which ones, it's the green and orange wire. You just jump it if you ever kind of forget your key. Oh, here's a good one. There's another one here. I will show this. This chap here. Has
anybody seen this happen? 500-600 hours. I guess this the clutch sleeve and the stator wiring just kept on rubbing on the back of this quick disconnect fitting. And when I go to start it, you'll see there's a tiny, tiny pinhole leak.
So it's leaking gas there. And this is crazy because that cover on that braided steel line has worn through his plastic there on his cover. So yep. He has the Golan filter, which is a good mod.
Anybody seen this happen?
It's good to do. And so hey, if you got 500 hours on the thing, good on you. That's great. This is the kind of stuff that starts happening on super high hour bikes, these weird things. From my old days racing KTMs, and specifically the RFSs, we would make sure that there was an external oil line that we would make sure that the clutch and the ignition wires were zip tied to it, protected and zip tied to it so that they wouldn't rub on it. And then back then we didn't have high pressure fuel line, so it wasn't that kind of an issue, but fuel line routing is pretty tricky. You just definitely don't want kinks or pinches in it and then kind of have it there. But they make a metal one of those connectors too. But in a lot of these things, you're kind of chasing problems. And if you make one thing, if he had the metal one on there, it probably would have worn through his clutch line and then it would be squirting. Because when I first saw that, I saw liquid. I'm like, oh, that's clutch fluid. I didn't think it would wear out the fitting on the fuel line, but good enough. Interesting. So where is the picture? I saw a picture of earlier. There was a picture of a drain plug. Here it is. Got it right here. So glad I found this. Here we go. So this is a picture of a KTM drain plug, and the guy was actually on. He says, "Hi guys, just raced my bike 90 miles. I was sloppy with some shifts." Honesty. Wondering how chunky is too chunky for an oil change. too chunky for an oil change. Picture in front is an 8mm bolt for reference. So he's not showing that the magnet sticks to the bolt. He's showing us the pieces of metal that he found on his drain plug. And what's interesting, I sitting here looking at it, is like that thing looks so clean. Like the crush washer looks good. He really cleaned off that drain plug. He got all the oil off it, but still managed to get the metal to stick. 2016 KTM 500. This is pretty much, especially if you've made some bad shifts, those kind of, I was in fourth and it went into fourth and a half, went like that where it clanked into fifth kind of shifts. Or if you're a little ham-fisted with the downshifts and kind of, you're really resting your foot on that shift lever and popping that sucker down, this is normal. That's a normal amount of thing. And amazingly, in this set of comments, most people have said, you're fine, don't worry about it, relax. It wasn't the usual, just tirade of you should have been running this oil, which is, whether it's from, some Ama Purple or Dextro nuclear physical whatever oils. Oh, by the way, I need an oil sponsor. So if you want to sponsor this podcast with an oil sponsor, I have some very specific needs, like for oil, and I will promote your brand, because right now I use a lot of different brands and I'm happy with all of them. The only thing you're not going to talk me out of is my Rock Oil water washable air filter oil. That stuff is good, and I do like their strawberry scented 2-stroke oil. So Rock Oil, send the check. So yeah, don't be so worried about the this little stuff in the drain plug. But if I were to get this, I would pull out that screen filter, Gary. That screen filter? It's the other 13mm bolt that's right on there. And I would pluck out the screen and I would take a good look at that, because I don't want any more of this, because the magnet's going to grab most of it. And the other thing you have to be aware of is that this magnet is in a good pickup location. The screen is a good pickup location. But if that metal is coming from someplace else, let's say the cam chain or something over there, something on the valve train, sometimes that stuff can drip down into the ignition, and the flywheel rotor magnet, which is also very powerful, will pick that stuff up and you may not see it. So just be aware that that's kind of normal. It should be a little more fuzzy, not as chunky. So I would put it in, ride it again, and notice if anything goes wrong. And then if I kept getting this, then I'm going, okay, something's coming apart. It could be a bearing retainer. There's so many little things that can go wrong, but he doesn't have that much time on this bike, I don't think. It just doesn't appear to be a lot of time. So that's my advice. That's all I really know. It's everything I know. So back onto the thing. No hat, dude. I was early going to sell some of the sponsorships space on my skull, Dan. I put it out there. I sent out a proposal to a few people so they could buy my skull because it's worth a lot. I was going to we were going to have 3 skulls like this in here tonight. That's some of my co-hosts, but they got busy. So I wonder if the safety vest could inflate and become a personal flotation device. Oh, jeez. I don't think Ricky's watching anymore. It's probably way past his bedtime, or he could be on a plane. I don't know where the guy's at. Let's see. Ricky needs to practice in the Afton Canyon crossing. Funny enough, I have some friends that have blown their bikes up in there, but I don't. There was no video of it. I haven't talked to him. I don't know what exactly happened. Here goes Victor again. I wonder if a safety vest inflate and have a fleshlight attached and some boobs for an emergency. Victor, my Mexican brother, Odele. So, okay, we're going to go ahead and start wrapping the show up. I think Gary Drummond, you're the winner of Taco Moto's Rooster Endo, because you were the only bike in the contest that wasn't trying to sell the bike. Although, you might be, but you fooled us. So Ace, that means you get to submit again. So I'm sure you have some other nice chariots there that aren't for sale that you could pop in now that you know to send us better photos. You'll be going up against San Felipe Bob, who's going to send us a picture of him like doing a flying W or something and think that he's automatically going to win. And then someone like George will send a picture of a three-wheeler in. I don't know. George is not here. What else is going on? I was going to do the news, but I forgot to ask AI how to do it. I was going to, there was a couple other questions I was going to ask AI, but I'll save it for thing. But it said I should make a 10-second sting. I should just shorten the chorus to Rooster Endo and just make it go real quick. Okay. Let's see. Jimmy's favorite dirt bikes. It wants me to keep talking to it. It's bored. Probably like you and me on this show. Yeah, Gary, send me an email. Remind me about your Rooster Endo win, and I will get it taken care of. Like always, if you know about some of our sponsors over the time, we've mentioned different sponsors that do offer discount codes and stuff to our loyal viewers. Let us know and let me know. Send an email, and I can address that. I'm going to forget about this podcast and then go about my merry ways. And hopefully you guys all have a really good time out on the trail, because I know I will. It's getting hot out here, but it's supposed to cool back down. Maybe it's going to rain again. I don't know. There was supposed to be some snow bike questions, but it's the wrong time of year for that, because usually you send them in like right after it blows up, after the first time you ride it, wondering why it blew up. So, okay. I'm glad that the political commentary in the chat didn't go too crazy. Okay. I think that was, you know what? I was supposed to go to my YouTube videos. I think we had one or two that I was going to get at. Huey Marchman was talking about our 2023 Yamaha WR450F video, and he says it's better to stiff, can always soften. That's what Victor's mom told me. I'm pretty sure. And somebody wants to know about our KX450 Mega Bomb header. Does it require a tune? I doubt that it does. Most of the time when FMF does a pipe, they want you to be able to run it standard. But like most bikes you're able to tune, I have found that if you spend some time with it, you can find something that makes it fit your riding style better. And yeah. Philip Productions says the best commercial clip I ever saw on one of Trevor's videos. So Trevor's doing commercials now for Kawasaki, I guess. So, okay. I knew there wasn't a lot of those, so I don't really have to get to them. Thanks, everybody, for joining in, sending questions, doing all this stuff. He won't forget the podcast, okay? Where I wreck the... You need to have a section called Dirt E-News about events, new sticker laws, etc. Dirt E-News. With your take on things, I think I'm going to get in trouble. Asher Lito said, I asked Ada to jet my bike and it ended up only being able to run the throttle wide open. Well, fucking AI is the best at everything, dude. It only rides wide open like me. So you should know. So good to see you, Asher Lito. Okay, thank you, everybody. I'm going to shut this show down, and there's a chance I'm going riding, but who knows? We'll see. Probably not, because I had a couple little sips. So with that, cheers, and we'll see you out on the trail. Okay, I'm going to turn this stuff off. Turn the sound. If you liked what you saw in this video, come check us out over at dirtbiketest.com on the webs. We have bike tests, product tests, a lot of fresh dirt, and you can even support us by clicking through our links. Hopefully, we'll see you out in the trail.